Boundaries in marriage aren't about control, they are about love, respect, and emotional safety. When we set boundaries the right way, we create a marriage where both spouses feel valued and understood. But how do we do this without pushing each other away? Let's break it down. One, we need to understand that boundaries are biblical, very biblical. And boundaries are not about shutting our spouse out. Boundaries are about creating healthy limits that protect the relationship. And that is very, very important. We have to protect our marriage. We have to protect our relationship. Even God sets boundaries for us. Right from the book of Genesis chapter 2, verse 16 and 17, where we see God telling Adam and Eve that they can feel free to eat the fruit of every tree in the garden except that of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And that if they do eat it, they will die. Now they crossed the boundary, they disobeyed, they ate it, and they died. It was not a physical death, it was a spiritual death from God, a separation between them and God. And we are all feeling the effect of their disobedience, the wars, the diseases, the calamities that we are experiencing in the world today is as a result of they crossing the boundary. So boundaries are very, very important. Proverbs chapter 4 verse 23 says that keep your heart with all diligence, for out of it springs the issues of life. This verse reminds us to guard our heart wisely. And that is exactly what boundaries help us to do. So for example, if your spouse speaks harshly when they are frustrated, a healthy boundary will be that you tell them that I want to listen and support you, but I can't engage when you raise your voice. Let's talk when we are both calm. You see? You say it softly and nicely. Let's talk when we are both calm. So you've expressed your need that you really want to engage, but you are not going to be able to do that when they raise their voice. So that is a healthy boundary for the relationship. 2, communicate boundaries with love, not ultimatums. Boundaries are not about demands. They are about loving guidelines that help both spouses grow. Ephesians chapter 4 verse 15, I read the New Living Translation. It says, instead we speak the truth in love, growing in every way more and more like Christ. For example, instead of saying, you can't talk to me like that, I want you to try, I love you and I want to have healthy conversations with you. I need us to speak with kindness even when we disagree. That is a better way to do it. So you see, you are actually setting the boundary without sounding demanding, without putting ultimatums to it, and without stirring up any form of conflict. You do it softly, nicely, and with grace. 3, stick to your boundaries with grace and consistency. Setting boundaries is one thing. Keeping them is another. If we give in too easily, our spouse will not take us seriously, and they will not take the boundaries seriously. So we have to be consistent. At the same time, we must not be rigid. We have to be gracious as we keep the boundaries. Consistency is very important. James 1:19, I read the Passion Translation, and to 20, it says that be quick to listen but slow to speak, and be slow to become angry, for human anger is never a legitimate tool to promote God's justice. For example, if you set boundary about not discussing finances in the heat of an argument, what you should do when they are crossing the boundary is to calmly remind your spouse that let's take a break and talk about this when we are both in a better space. This does a world of good. 4. Boundaries should strengthen your marriage, not divide your marriage. The goal is not to shut your spouse out, but to build a stronger, more respectful connection. That is the goal. Amos chapter 3 verse 3 says that can two walk together except they agree? If you don't agree, you cannot walk together. So that is what boundaries help us to do. They help us to build a stronger, more respectful connection so we can be able to walk together, achieve more in our relationships. If your spouse, for example, consistently cancels date nights, instead of reacting in frustration, express your need calmly and clearly. Calmly and clearly express your need. Do not react in frustration. It will lead nowhere. So you can say something like, spending time together is important to me. Can we set a time that works for both of us? Easy. That is expressing it calmly but clearly and precisely. So after expressing your need for the date night, for example, the next step is to take action based on their response. So let's look at different possible reactions and how to respond to them. 1. If your spouse agrees but they keep forgetting, follow up with a gentle reminder. Say something like, hey love, we talked about setting a date night. Can we schedule a day in the week? Then you go ahead and put, if they agree after that, so you go ahead, put it on your calendars and set a reminder on your phones so that they don't forget it again. 2. If your spouse says that they are too busy, acknowledge their schedule and offer a compromise. So say, I understand you are busy and I appreciate all you do. Let's find a time that works for both of us. Maybe a shorter date or a cozy night indoors. The solution to this, to their busyness, is to adjust our expectations. Sometimes just a walk, taking a walk, or a short coffee date helps. Or even staying back at home and having a movie night together works just fine. The whole idea is to spend time together and to connect. That is the whole idea. 3. If your spouse doesn't think it's necessary, help them see why it matters to you. It's very important to do that. So you can say something like, spending time together makes me feel more connected to you. It's not just about going out, it is about us. And that will help them to rethink their decision. The solution is to share why quality time is necessary, why quality time strengthens your bond, and back it up with scripture or a personal experience. Any fun time you've had together, where you spend time together, how it made you feel connected and all of that, you can share that, and it is going to make them see that, oh, okay, all right, this is something to consider. But don't go getting angry and saying that, yeah, you don't care about me. If spending quality time is your love language, you are really going to feel frustrated about it. So don't go saying that, hey, you don't care about me, you don't love me, no. Don't do anything like that. We learned earlier that do not go about being frustrated. Do not react in frustration, but express your need clearly and calmly. It works. 4. If they dismiss or ignore your request, what do? You set the boundary gently. So say, I really want us to have intentional time together. I'll plan something for Friday. Join me if you can. Yeah, join me if you can. You just say it softly and gently. Then you take the lead. Plan something small. If they don't engage, enjoy yourself anyway. And then you revisit the conversation calmly later. I have done this a number of times until my husband came around. I've taken myself out on several times. Also because he's an itinerant minister, sometimes he's not around. And when he's around and I want us to spend time together, sometimes he's not coming forth with it. So I take myself out. And if I want to have a movie night together and he's not forthcoming, I watch the movie by myself or with my son who is around. So let's not be rigid, let's be flexible. As you stick to your boundary and you are consistent with time, they will come around. Bottom line is that boundaries need action. Just talking does not cut it. You have to back it up with action. Take the lead. Boundaries need follow-up, and boundaries require flexibility. It's about expressing our needs without forcing it, but also not giving up on what's important to us. This is so important. You know what? I'm going to write a blog post on this and drop it on my website. I want you to read it and copy the script so that you can refer to it. I'm making all of these resources available for free because I struggled with this at a point in my marriage and I overcame it. Everything I'm sharing with you on this channel is practical. It's not about theory. It's not about throwing jargons and theories your way. No, practical and biblically sound doctrines. I want you to like this video, share it, let many others get blessed by it, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Boundaries done right bring healing. Oh, they bring a lot of healing. You see, setting healthy boundaries in marriage protects our heart. It fosters mutual respect and it strengthens our intimacy. When we communicate boundaries with love, with wisdom and consistency, they become a tool for deeper connection, not division. If you are struggling to set boundaries without conflict, I want you to get my book, Talk, Don't Fight. Talk, Don't Fight. This book offers practical strategies to improve communication in your marriage. And if you are a couple in ministry, I want you to add to it the conflict-free communication blueprint for couples in ministry. It's an additional book to add to the Talk, Don't Fight. Because when you are in ministry, the challenges we have are more dicey and a little more complicated. Not every Christian couple faces that unless you are serving in the ministry. Get those two so you can see practical examples and how to navigate them and how to go about them. Get these books. They will be a great help to you. And if you want to completely transform your communication, you can get my online course, Effective Communication in Marriage. It will completely transform the way you communicate in your marriage, whether you are in ministry or not. It's an online course, so you can learn at your own pace. God bless you. I'll see you in my next video where I will teach you how to stop walking on eggshells in your marriage. Healthy assertiveness without triggering more conflict.